My wife's father held our newborn underwater in the bathtub, saying, "Some babies aren't meant to survive." I watched through the bathroom doorway as Leonard gripped our 3-day-old daughter Iris by her ankles, her head completely submerged in the bathwater. Her little arms flailed weakly under the surface. "What are you doing?" I screamed, lunging forward. Leonard's head snapped toward me, eyes cold. He slowly lifted Iris from the water. She wasn't crying. She wasn't moving. Water streamed from her tiny nose and mouth, teaching her strength. He said calmly, "Weak babies become weak adults." He lowered her back toward the water. I tackled him sideways, sending us both crashing into the wall. Iris flew from his grip, and I caught her against my chest. Her lips were blue. Her body was limp. I pressed my mouth over her face, breathing life back into my daughter. Her chest rose, and she coughed and let out a weak cry. "You're overreacting, David," Leonard said, blood trickling from his nose. "I was testing her survival instincts." My wife, Elena, appeared in the doorway. "Dad, what happened?" Leonard's expression softened. David misunderstood my methods. I was showing Iris how to hold her breath. "He held her underwater for 30 seconds, I said. She went limp. She stopped breathing. That night, Elena and I fought until 3 a.m. She insisted her father would never harm Iris. I made her promise Leonard would never be alone with our daughter. But Leonard kept visiting, always volunteering to help with baths, always watching Iris with that calculating expression. One afternoon, he cornered me alone. "Elena's been my daughter for 28 years. You've been her husband for 3. If you force her to choose, you'll lose. That child carries my blood. I have every right to shape her development." I installed security cameras. A week later, Leonard visited while I was at work. When I got home, I found a small red mark on Iris's wrist. Days later, Iris seemed unusually lethargic. Blood work revealed traces of sedative in her system. Child Protective Services investigated, but Leonard's expensive lawyer planted enough doubt. The case closed as unsubstantiated. 3 days later, Elena served me with divorce papers. Leonard had won. I got weekend visitation only. My brother Marcus, a detective, researched Leonard's background. His first wife died in a suspicious drowning. His second wife divorced him after abuse accusations. His nephew had been hospitalized twice as an infant for unexplained injuries. 2 weeks later, Elena needed someone to watch Iris. Leonard volunteered. I'd installed hidden cameras throughout Leonard's house the night before. I watched from my car as Elena dropped Iris off. For the first hour, everything seemed normal. Then, Leonard carried Iris upstairs to a modified nursery. My blood turned to ice as I watched him place her in a crib with fabric restraints, holding her tiny limbs immobile. "Time for your next lesson, little one," he said, pulling out a syringe. "Grandfather is going to teach you about pain tolerance." I was already running. Called 911 while driving. The 20-minute drive took me 8 minutes through red lights. I kicked in Leonard's front door. Iris was screaming upstairs. I tackled Leonard from behind, the syringe flying from his hand and shattering. I punched him in the face, feeling his nose crunch. I rushed to Iris, removing the restraints. She was burning with fever, convulsing from whatever he'd injected. Police burst in with weapons drawn. "I have video evidence," I said, nodding toward the hidden cameras. Leonard's house contained modified cribs with restraints, injection equipment, and detailed journals documenting his plans for Iris's development. He'd been planning systematic abuse to create superior resilience. Doctors explained Iris had been injected with a paralytic agent, enough to cause excruciating pain while preventing movement. "I didn't know," Elena sobbed at the hospital. "I never imagined." Leonard was arrested and charged with child abuse, unlawful imprisonment, and assault. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Elena testified against her father. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours. Guilty on all charges. 15 years in prison. 6 months later, Elena found a letter Leonard had written 3 days before Iris was born, detailing his complete plan, how he'd eliminate my influence and systematically condition Iris to accept pain and fear as normal. We moved to Denver to start fresh. 2 years later, Leonard died in prison. Another inmate, a father himself, had learned what Leonard was there for. Now, Iris is 5, starting kindergarten. She runs through our backyard chasing butterflies, laughing at silly jokes, never knowing the monster who tried to destroy her before she could even speak.